Jamie, we were talking about the fact that you have lent into technology over the last decade, billions of dollars invested across the business. When it comes to AI, which parts of the JP Morgan business are going to be most transformed by AI?
Yeah, so we've been doing AI since 2012. So people think it's like a new thing. Gen AI is kind of new, but not all of AI. We have 2,000 people doing it. Spend $2 billion a year on it. It affects everything: risk, fraud, marketing, idea generation, customer service, and it's kind of the tip of the iceberg. And so we're deploying it. Every time we meet as a business, we ask, what are you doing in AI? What are you doing to serve your people? Why can you do better? What is somebody else doing? So we're freely deploying it and safely. We have a lot of rules and regulations in place for our own data and how we use it, et cetera.
Is it having a material impact on revenues for JP Morgan? If not now, then when?
So we have shown that for $2 billion of expense, we have about $2 billion of benefit. Some we actually can do real detail. We did this, we reduced headcount, we saved this time and money, we reduced errors. Some you can't. It's just improved service, something like that. It's like almost worthless to say what's the NPV, but we know about $2 billion of actual cost saves. And like I said, I think it's the tip of the iceberg. We're getting better and better at it. We know how to do it. As the managers learn how to do it, they're asking more questions to do research and summarize reports and scan contracts and do things like that. 150,000 people a week use it. So it's quite productive.
More and more of your employees are using the agentic AI across
our
JP
own LLM, and agentic is just starting. But that will be deployed over time too. But it's also being used for coding. I mean, it's being used quite broadly now, and like I said, part of it is getting your mind working around how you're going to use this thing, and so our managers and leaders have to do it.
If you look out 5 years, are there more jobs in banking as a result of AI or fewer?
I think people shouldn't put their head in the sand. It is going to affect jobs. So think of every application, every service you do, you'll be using AI. Some to enhance it. Some of it'll be you doing the same job. You're doing a better job at it. There will be jobs that it eliminates. But you're better off being way ahead of the curve and retraining people. So we retrain and redeploy a lot of people. So for JP Morgan, if we're successful, we'll have more jobs.
When you look at the spend on AI, infrastructure, chips, OpenAI, it's not making a profit. Loss-making, deals of about $1 trillion this year. The hyperscalers, the spend there. What is your reaction when you see those numbers crossing? Are you comfortable with that kind of spend on the infrastructure around AI?
It's a lot. I'm not sure it's all ever going to be totally spent. I think when you look at big tech, like tech that happens like this, and you go look at cars, you look at television, you look at internet, big money's got spent. There were a lot of losers, a lot of winners. In total, it was productive. So take the internet bubble. Remember that blew up, and the amount of people. You and I could probably name 100 companies that were worth $50 billion and disappeared. But out of it came Facebook, YouTube, Google. So there will be real big companies, real big success. It will work, in spite of the fact that not everyone who invests in it is going to have a great investment return.
The administration is talking about possibly changing the requirement around quarterly earnings.
Yeah.
And you've talked about this, you've written about this with Warren Buffett around the guidance part of earnings and quarterly guidance. Would you welcome a change like that? And would it mean a change at JP Morgan in terms of how often you update
I would
investors?
welcome it. We still probably update investors quarterly with much less stuff, and we just be very transparent. I think the bigger problem wasn't just reporting quarterly, it was forecasting where CEOs get their back up against the wall, they have to meet these things, earnings, and they start doing dumb stuff to meet earnings, and that kind of public pressure. I think it's a smaller part of a much bigger problem. We've gone from 8,000 public companies in 1996 to like 4,000 today. And that, I'm not sure that's good. We drive companies out of it. We have cookie cutter governance. Some activists are good, but they're activists. There's litigation. There's cookie cutter compensation. There's very expensive listing. There's disclosure rules, which you've heard about them here. I mean, endless rules, and that it makes it hard for a small company to go public. So I think, and they're trying to do that here, have an active small company going public. That's what we all need, and create an equity culture, which Rachel Reeves was trying to do here. And I think they're doing a good job reducing regulations, trying to make it easier to do business, and reducing regulation in banks, but also in business in general. You want an active market, and we've kind of crushed it. And because the research laws and MiFID and disclosure requirements. So if I was a regulator, I would take a step back and look at the whole system and say, how can we improve it and make it safer? And look at it holistically, as opposed to just everything's like a one-off conversation.